And I think so many people call themselves being burned out on social media. And it's because they're not just recording themselves doing what they love. If you're a makeup artist, every time you do makeup, just turn the camera on. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to make it into... I would love to do more lifestyle content, and I plan on it, right? But I talk.
Yeah.
My name is Lish Speaks, for crying out loud. Yeah. And that was way before I went viral. That's been my name on Instagram for as long as I've had an Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Word.
Lish Speaks. I speak.
Yeah.
So all the time it would take me to show you guys doing my makeup and brushing my teeth, I could have made 20 videos sitting down talking. So guess what I do? I sit down and I talk.
Yeah.
Now eventually you'll see me brushing my teeth. Here and there, in a YouTube vlog somewhere, but the main thing has to be the main thing, and so, if what brought you to my page in your case was my lyricism, my creativity, then let's just focus on that, you know?
Yeah.
That was free. The next time I'll charge you for that advice.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
So have a great day. Don't bring no drama my way. Don't bring no drama my way. Don't bring no drama my way. Yeah, I might have a great day. Don't bring no drama my way. Don't bring no drama my way. Don't bring no drama my way. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of I'll Just Let Myself In with your girl, Lish Speaks. This is the podcast where we let ourselves into our God-given doors. We don't wait for an imaginary permission slip or some seat at the imaginary table. We walk through doing the things that God has called us to do. Today, I got a guest in the building. His name is ASIARE, dope rapper.
What's up?
Becoming a friend, somebody who I really think is amazing. I got to see him perform at a benefit concert a couple of months ago. He's a rapper, writer, and producer, a Christian, and someone who really represents Christ. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for ASIARE.
Yo, what's up, guys? What's up? Happy to be here, guys. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So, ASIARE.
Yes.
ASIARE.
Yes.
I know your real name.
Yes, you do.
So
you know my government.
I know your government, so I try not to call you that. But I am excited to have you here because I know that you are really working hard behind the scenes to grow as an artist, to grow as a Christian, and really to show the world what God has put on your heart. So thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here, man. What's going on in your life right now? Tell the people, what you got going on.
So as of right now, I'm working with my producer, Shay versus the World, and we are working on a project right now. We actually been locked in since like 2022, and we just been stacking up tracks. I actually made like a record a couple weeks ago when I was rapping over one thing, and I was like stacking up tracks, just going crazy. Yeah. And I feel like, we're just getting a lot of demos in, and we're really just ready to kind of shoot it off to see what the people think. And then after that, just continue to grow, and also just to network with some other people within the industry, and just see where I can fit in, like how I can help others to see Christ in a different way. So,
I love that. Yeah. I tried to do a lot of research about you.
Okay.
You don't do a lot of interviews.
No, I don't. I only got one, actually.
I saw it. Shout out to Track Stars. And so tell me a little bit about your upbringing, where you're from. I love this because I feel like I feel like I'm like in uncharted territory. So many times in CHH, you do interviews and like they have like mad interviews. And I'm like, I'm getting in first.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell the people about, your upbringing, where you're from, and kind of how that influences the way you do music.
Yeah, so my upbringing. So I grew up in Augusta, Georgia. It's probably like 2 hours and 30 minutes away from Atlanta. And with that being said, my mom, 100% Christian, but, my dad wasn't really a guy of faith. So with that being said, it just brought some different vibes in the house. But ultimately, my dad was definitely in full support of me and my brother going to church. And it was just a great time going to church, being around gospel music, being around just older Christians, but didn't really know where I would fit in the Christian faith, but I also loved music at the same time. So I was in the choir singing, and then also too, my parents, they put me into a fine art school. It was Davidson Fine Arts, and it's out in Augusta, Georgia. And so my fine art was playing the violin, playing piano, and then also too being in the back with percussion. So playing the marimba, bass drum, timpani, snare drum, all of that. So I really got like a good, well-rounded view of what music can be like. And then after that, I graduated from high school, and then I went to Kennesaw State, and that was kind of like my introduction into audio production. So I joined a radio station. They put me on game on how to like record, and I was just grinding. But also at the same time, when I got to campus, I started studying the Bible, and I got reached out to. So at that time, like that was like my first, like I was going deeper in my faith, because I started off with a little bit of faith, but it was almost like my parents' faith or my mom's faith per se. But now it was like making faith my own, and I did. And within that, when I was studying the Bible, I had a good friend named Najee, and he challenged me to make music for God. I was like, I ain't never really thought about that, because I mean, for me, I was just making music, but it was like kind of like R&B-ish, a little bit of hip hop, but it was clean, because I was like, my mom not gonna, she ain't gonna allow that. You know what I'm saying?
Same.
My mom's not
You
gonna
only go
allow
so
that.
far.
Yeah. So with that being said, like I was like, okay, cool. So he kind of put me on to more Christian hip hop, because I didn't grow up in Christian hip hop. I grew up with gospel music, like straight up. You know what I'm saying? Donnie McClurkin, CeCe Winans, you know what I mean? Yolanda Adams, like that's who I grew up on. But then also to hip hop with like Kanye, Drake, Big Sean, Lil Wayne, and then I didn't really listen to like the Young Thugs or anything like that. That was just I think I was more so into like the lyrical rap at the time. And so but once I locked in with my boy Najee, and I was learning more about Christian hip hop. I was, trying to see like how I could fit in, because I felt like at the time that I was listening to it was like 2017. I just didn't know how I could, put it into it. But then as time went on, I was like, okay, I can see how I can make my own lane, because I started seeing other guys like Hovey, No Big Deal, and then later on Caleb Gordon and guys like that. I'm like, okay, they just doing their thing, like So I was like, all right, cool, I can do my own thing. And so that's kind of like my upbringing. Quick little
I love that. What do you feel like is difficult about deciding to label yourself as CHH or not? Because I feel like that comes up a lot for people who, it's like, I don't want to be labeled, I don't want to be boxed in. But at the same time, like every single song you make, you're talking about God, I know because I went through that. And so what do you think is the difficulty for people making that decision?
I think you don't want the Christian label because you don't want someone else to judge you or prejudge you before they even listen to the music. Because when you hear that Christian label in a world like this, in a time like this where things are just so polarized, people can just assume like, oh, you hate me, like you're gonna say something that is going to hurt me, so I don't even want to listen to
offend
you.
Me,
Exactly. And so I think that's why it can be hard to have that Christian label, but then also too, you just have individuals who have used the word Christian and almost, abused others, you know what I mean? And so it can just be like a weird thing to say, oh, I'm a Christian artist, and it's like, okay, where do you actually stand at?
Right.
But then we get into the music, it's like, okay, you're a cool guy, like you're talking about great things. And then also too, like we don't even know like you were talking about God, like you know what I'm saying? Like I know for me with songs like Sunflower, I put it into a competition with a studio down here. It was called Bandwidth at the time. And the main guy, the owner, he didn't even know that it was a Christian song. Like he had to listen to it a couple times. So with that being said, I think it can be a good thing, but also too, it can be a bad thing. It just depends on who. I wouldn't say bad thing. Let me revert back. I think it just depends on where you stand at the time. So
I think it also depends on the why, right? Like
exactly.
As long as it's not because you're ashamed.
Because
call yourself whatever you want to call
100%.
yourself. Like, and people know. People know what they need to know. I think about being a Christian in this day and age, right? Like it is not easy.
No.
And it's not easy. Not because of the reasons you would think, like persecution and all that. I think that time will come. I think that time will come. In fact, I know the Bible says it will. But it's difficult because everyone calls themselves a Christian.
That is a fact too.
And so you have Christians who believe one thing and it's like, I believe this, so I could never vote that way.
Yep.
And then you have other Christians who are like, I believe this and I could never vote that way, you know? Or I think it's okay to do this or say this or talk this way. Other people are like, that's, you know, and I find myself sometimes feeling very, what's the word? I think I'm not confused about where I stand, but confused about what standard to call people to, because everyone seems to have a different standard.
That is so true.
And I feel like it, unfortunately, waters down our faith.
Yeah.
You know, what do you feel like as an artist, or just even as a disciple, as a person?
Yeah.
You know, what do you feel like your part or your responsibility is in that? Because I can feel like my responsibility is just to like be as honest as possible, as frequently as possible, you know? But that can also play against me sometimes.
That's
so
real.
I don't know. What do you, how do you handle that?
I think that's a good question that you just asked. I think where I stand at as of right now in the season of life that I'm in, I think I would say singleness. I feel like in the music that I've made, I've talked a lot about singleness and how to live. So I would say that's one area. I think another area would be just fighting temptation, fighting against lust. I think as a single man, it can be definitely hard out here. You know what I'm saying? Just to be able to hold down the conviction. You know what I'm saying? For real. Yeah. But like really just having that conviction of like, no, I'm not going to like interact with this young lady in that way. Like I'm going to respect her. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think those are like the two areas where I feel like this is where God has me at. And this is where I'm going to defend. Yeah. So, yeah. I like that question.
Thank you, man. Let's talk about your singlehood since you brought it up.
For sure. For sure.
You do unashamedly talk about it in your music, which I love. And I think that it's just so good for people to hear music that does not center not only sex, because we know that, all right, we're Christians, we're not going to make a song about sex, right? Yeah. But that doesn't center the blessings over the blessor, right?
Yeah, like, 100%.
You know, like doesn't center the created things over the creator. Yeah. And I feel like it's important, especially in a season of singlehood, because I was single I got married at 35. Okay. For the first time. Yeah.
First time and only time.
First and only time in Jesus' name. Amen. And I became a disciple at 14. So I know what it is like. Yeah. When you talk about holding down the fort and you talk about respecting that young lady, listen, young lady, respect yourself. Okay? I had to respect myself. Yes. You know? Yes. I got a story about that, but anyway, let me tell you. I'm gonna say it because I just think it's worth saying. Yeah. There was a time where I was really not doing well spiritually, right? Yeah. And I won't say more than that. Okay. I wasn't doing well. Yeah. I had a guy tell me, I'm not doing anything with you. He said, I got enough to talk to God. His exact words. He said, I have enough to talk to God about when I get to the gates. Whoa. And messing up your purity will not be one of the things. He was not a Christian.
That's real though.
Like, wow. I guess he was a believer, but he was not like a disciple, you know? Yeah. And I was just not doing great. And, you know, we were hanging out and he was like, yeah. Girl. You know, and he didn't say it like that. You know, he could have very well, you know, we liked each other. Yeah. You know what I mean? We wouldn't have been hanging out as much as you know. Tight. And he was like, yo, I got to be honest with you. I can't. Not you, you know, like he's like, I, not you. And I think about I don't think about it in anyone that I married, but when I was single, I used to think about that like, dog, like, what is that? Like, you know, and now I understand it was just the anointing over my life. God was like, no, you know what I mean? Like, I have set you apart. You know what I mean? And not even you can mess that up.
That's powerful.
That's what that situation I always laugh about. And we had talked about it after that. And he was like, yo, I'm telling you, like, he was like, I feel like that was God because like that ain't even like me. He was like, but to be honest, like he's like, you're the only real Christian I like know. And so like for me to like mess with you, he's like, I didn't need that on my conscience. And I laugh about it, but it's you know, so ladies, respect yourself. Yeah, you know, 100%. Don't put yourself in situation, and that snapped me back to reality. Yeah. You know, I never put myself in a situation like that again because he what if he didn't have integrity? What if he didn't respect the anointing on my life? You know, and God, what you know, and so I just it's real. It's real. Yeah. So in that, which is, you know, and listen, I didn't plan to talk about that, but sometimes it's, you know, with that being said, you know, as a single man, trying to keep his way pure.
Yes.
Trying to do the right thing. What advice would you give other young brothers or sisters, but let's talk to the men, for staying pure, for staying righteous, for waiting on God?
Yeah. Okay, I think the first thing is having scriptures. I think you got to have scriptures on your mind that you can use to defend. In times of temptation, I think the other thing is also to just having homies, having quick homies you can call, like, man, like, this is a situation I'm in. Because I think also, too, when it comes down to, like, dealing with, like, temptations, there's this inner feeling that you really got going on. I feel like when you feel temptation, it's like, oh, it's a check engine light, but it's a deeper emotion that you got going on, really. Like, it's like, oh, I really want this, but are you feeling lonely? Are you hurt about something? Do you need comfort?
Yeah.
So I think
you might miss your mom.
Yeah, 100%. That's what it really is. It's not even, you know what I'm saying? So I think talking about those things with your homies, I think that's one thing. And I think also, too, praying to God. Because I think, the scriptures do say, like, pray, like, talk to God about the desires on your heart. And we'll see if he'll give them to you. It's not a guarantee. It's not 100%. Marriage is not a guaranteed thing.
Yep.
So just continue to pray, have scriptures in your mind, and then also to, like, have homies that can keep you accountable.
Yeah.
And I feel like those are the things that have helped me. And then also to, like, talking to individuals who are both single and married, because I feel like you'll have, like, a holistic view of what things are supposed to be like. Because I think a lot of people can romanticize marriage, or they can romanticize singlehood. Yeah. And you just expect, once I get married, I get all these, I get
perks.
the keys. Exactly. But them perks, you might have to, I guess, boost up your subscription. You know what I'm saying? You was a basic member, but you might have to become a premium member at some point. But all jokes aside, though, like, it's you really want to have a holistic view of, like, both sides. Yeah. So I think that's the advice that I would give. And also, too, I think know yourself. Don't put yourself in, like, situations that you're gonna be tempted in, man. Like, I know for me, bro, like, I can't be on certain websites, you know what I'm saying? I can't be around certain people. And that just is what it is. Like, I know my flesh, it'll tweak easy. You know what I'm saying? It'll tweak easy. So it's like, you just really got to keep it on lock and just know yourself. So I would give those 4 things: prayer, accountability, and then I said scriptures, and then know yourself. Don't play yourself. Know yourself.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I would add one to that, too, for, anybody. I was going to say for the sisters, but this is for anybody. Have something else going on.
That's true.
Like,
yes.
Be busy.
Yes.
If you just sitting around all day, struggling, lusting, stressed about the fact that you ain't got a man or you ain't got a woman, you get you some business.
Yeah.
Like,
get some motion.
Get you some motion. Like, I really do feel like my time in the, as a CHH artist, my time as a rapper, my time in the music industry, my time traveling the world, it really saved me. Yeah. Because I didn't have time to be home making poor choices. Yeah.
No, for sure. For sure.
And I remember there being a time where I would be like, hey, like, I would have friends come to the studio with me if the engineer was a dude, or if the producer was a dude, that was a single dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, let me not even play myself. Yeah. Like you said, the knowing yourself, especially if you're in a weaker season, because the truth is you're going to have weak seasons. Yeah. Super Christian is a myth. Yeah. And some of, should I say this, Holy Spirit? Some of the people that are super Christians struggle in their marriages to be intimate and to actually love their partner, because they spent their whole life saying, this is so bad. Don't engage that side of your brain at all. Yeah. That's not realistic. You're a human. You're going to have temptations. You're going to have feelings, under normal circumstances. Yeah. And so, even in relationships, I tell people, when my husband and I were dating, it was a struggle.
That's real.
That was a good sign of things to come. It was a struggle. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, it should be a struggle. Yeah. Now, you shouldn't be giving in. Yeah. But it shouldn't be like, I'm not attracted to this person at all.
That'd
like,
be weird.
That's weird. You know what I mean? Like, you should be attracted to your person, and you should be you should have to have accountability. People should have to know what's going on. Like, those things are so important. And I think, especially for artists, because Christian artists are not, when you're in them spaces, you're in them spaces.
Type.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you in them spaces. Yeah. There's a lot of temptation all around. Yeah. like I said, Christians are at varying level of conviction.
That's
you know,
true.
I've been at Christian events and I'm like, that's weed. Who's smoking
Yeah.
weed? This is a Christian event. Some Christians do that. You know what I mean? Or some people who call themselves Christians do that.
Yeah.
You know, or some people are just not delivered. They're struggling.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's a thing. Or, you know, you may need to stay away from alcohol, but there may be alcohol at the event. You know what I mean? Because drinking is not a sin. Drunkenness is, right? Knowing yourself, you know, the women in the body of Christ still look good. The men in the body of Christ still look good. It's not like when you become a disciple and you go to the function, everybody ugly.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
people look good,
Yeah.
you know? So you got to avert your eyes. You got to, you know, see your brothers as your brothers and see your sisters as your sisters until God makes them otherwise. And so I think that's such a dope thing to talk about. When you think about yourself as an artist moving forward, right? Because you're working on a bunch of music. I've had the pleasure of hearing a couple of tracks that are not out yet. I feel like there's a sense of elevation from the music that you've put out in the past, which was amazing.
Appreciate it.
But to where you're going, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to the messaging, right? Your messaging, your testimony, right? How do you decide what to talk about and what not to talk about?
That's a good question. I just lay it all out. I think when I first record, we just record everything. And then after that, I think we kind of just do like this fine tuning. But I mean, with Shay, we have just sat down with the records and he's been cool with it because he knows this is like what's going on in my life. It's like, we're not going to hold back on this. Maybe we can reword it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It can be more palatable. It can, because, you know, you never know who's listening and you still want to be a light.
Yeah.
But I think I just try to lay it all out because even in the scriptures, I mean, you see David, he lays it all out in different parts of the psalm. I mean, you just see the struggle with, I feel like with Joseph at times too, but I mean, you don't get the full picture, but you see him struggling.
Yeah.
You see Moses struggling.
realness.
You know what I'm saying? So I rather just show the real because I mean, no, and I think sometimes within like Christian hip hop, it can just be like this, oh yeah, God did this, God did that, I'm fine, we gonna get that demon, but it's like, bro.
The devil is my op.
Yeah. You know what I'm
God
saying?
saved me. I used to be dead. Now I'm alive.
You know what I'm saying?
We on fire.
Yeah.
We don't party in the club. We party in the church. It's the same 7 tropes.
Yeah, and I get it because I think there is a time and place for that. You know what I'm saying? I think for, you know, people who may have like start off within their walk, like that's 100% what they need. But I think, you know, maybe further down the line, like life get real. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Like life just start lifing, and I think, and a good example of that would be like Lecrae's Restoration album. That helped me out in 2020 a lot because I was going through a time where it was bad breakup, me, you know, weaker in my faith, choosing temptations, you know what I'm saying? And just breaking down. But that album, it showed me that, okay, one, a Christian can struggle, but also too, like an artist who is also a Christian is trying to make his way back to God, but he's putting it in a format that is palatable to me and I can enjoy, and I respect that. And I think with that album, you know, it really helped me out. And I also too, like, shout out to Lecrae because like, I mean, he's phenomenal.
Yeah, the GOAT of CHH.
He
for
is,
sure.
100%. So, yeah.
Dope. I think about, you know, where you're at when it comes to your production with Shay, you know, Che, how y'all say it?
I pronounce it Shay.
I know these people's real names, so I'm like, who are we talking about? But shout out to your producer who I've known for probably almost 20 years.
Wow, yeah.
Which is crazy.
That is crazy to say.
We were definitely, probably maybe, I think I was like 19, 19 when I met him. And this a dope guy, true Christian, true believer.
He don't be playing.
You know, he don't play. You know, same thing. My producer, my manager, we're not playing church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we in this thing, we live this thing. And it's so important when you're creating music that's bigger than just the turn up.
Yeah.
To have a like-minded person in the process with you.
Yeah.
Tell us just a little bit more about y'all relationship and why you locked in with him.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, we met probably like during that time where I was at my rock bottom when I was listening to the Restoration album I was telling you about. And Mo, like, shame.
Does it matter?
I mean,
does it matter?
For real, you know, it don't. I'm gonna call him Mo.
Shout out to Mo. Shout out to
Mo.
Shay.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out. I was about to say his whole Momoti. Shout out
We just dropping it all.
to the guy. Super talented. Always trying to put people on.
For sure.
Super humble.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. But go ahead.
So yeah, I think I was at one of his we were at a studio session for someone else, and they were like making a project. I forget. And then after that, like I just wanted to talk to him just to talk to him.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really care for the music. I think a lot of people try to get in on that level with him, but it was just like you don't have an organic relationship. So I started talking to him about my life and just telling him where I was at. And I mean, we just, started having, times where we just talk, like, D times and all that. And so it was really good for me because, like I said, I was at a very low point, and I feel like that brother was like my mat carrier for the longest. And I feel like he still is my mat carrier in a sense, you know what I'm saying, in this season of my life. But as we were talking about my life, I was being real, he was being real about his life. Then that's when we started talking about music. It was just like, okay, cool, like, what are you doing musically though? Yeah. And then after that, it was like, okay, cool, like I hear what you're doing, Corey. Oh, I hear what you're doing, ASIARE. And then I want to be able to add to that because I see something in you. Yeah. And I think that was the other thing too. Like Shay, he just saw something in me, and I was just like, he just believed in me in a sense. And I was like, all right, cool. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I haven't had that initially when it came to the music. Like I had my boy Najee, but it was like almost like a Najee and ASIARE duo. You know what I'm saying? Like Batman and Robin. I was the Robin, and I wanted to, be my own guy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, with Shay, he was just like, I want to build something in you. Yeah. And so ever since then, we just been building up, and though it's musically, it's also spiritually. Yeah. Because I can always give him a call and ask for advice in any type of way. And he'll get me right. I think it was one story I would like to share that I was going through a really rough time, 2021, and I was like just out here doing whatever. And my whole brain and my thoughts on how I viewed sin was just really weird. You know what I mean? And so I was just like, there's no true consequences. That was like I really thought that. I was like, there ain't no consequences to sin. Even though scriptures say that, I ain't believe it because I got sinned against and I didn't see anything happen to the individual, happen in their life. And I was just like,
got it.
You know what?
I've been there.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to be repaid in a sense. And so he opens up the scripture.
I want to know what happened, but go ahead. Listen, I'm nosy. Go ahead.
But he opens up the scriptures, and we're looking at the story of David and Bathsheba, right? And essentially, I mean, like, I see it happen. I see the sin that has happened. But I'm like, I mean, you got the passing of his child. But I was like, what more happens? Like, well, his whole lineage just starts, getting a little finicky, and things just start getting haywire. And so I think for me, it shined a light on how sin can, one, be generational. And it may not affect you now, but it could affect your kids' kids. And so the choices that I make could affect my kids' kids. So I think that kind of just sobered me up as we looked at those scriptures. And I appreciate him for pointing that out in me, because I was really about to just be like, well, I'm going to do whatever.
Crash out.
Hey, D1 crash out. You understand me? D1. Okay? Top pick. But yeah, so when we sat down and had that conversation, it was really great. So like I said, that was just an example of like how we can just talk.
I love that.
And he can just, get me correct, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Every now and then.
How does it go in the studio when he is, because I've had the pleasure of being in the studio with him.
Yeah.
My whole last EP, I recorded with him.
Yeah.
Shout out to my last EP, Please Use Exact Change. I actually do not promote this enough.
Hey,
because old music ain't old to people who ain't never heard it.
Facts.
That part. So my last EP, Please Use Exact Change, was mastered by him. He actually sang on one of the tracks because we needed a vocal. So I know what it's like when he's like, do that again?
Yeah.
Try that again? Try that like this? You know, he is not demanding, but he ain't soft.
No, yeah.
So what's your process like when y'all in the studio? And how do you do it taking that instruction?
So our process, I would say, I'll talk about the instruction part. So in the instruction part, I feel like I can take it well. And for me, I'm just like an open-minded guy when it comes to making music. As long as it's not out, I'm not married to the idea. So once it's out, we're married to the idea. There's no changes. So I could we could change whatever, and I'm chilling with it.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, no, like we don't want to change this. Like, for example, we actually had a different singer on one of the choruses, and we just wanted to change it, and we just did. So it's things like that. Like, I'm really like fluid. But our process, I would say, is usually I'll record songs. Like, I'll record a whole song, just the loop, and then I'll just give it to him, and I'll be like, all right, can you produce around it?
Yeah.
And then he'll kind of take out that sample, do his own sample, and then just build the actual skeleton, and then he'll give it back to me, and I'm like, okay, cool, I'll rock with this, and then we'll just go in and record it.
Nice.
So it's almost like a game of, I would say, tag, because like, all right, here you go, all right, I got it. Here you go, all right, I got it, and then we just keep exchanging.
Right.
But when it comes to
That's
recording,
dope.
I was gonna say, when it comes to recording though, I usually am the one that's messing up. And what I mean by that is, like, I'll rap like a certain lyric, but I'll change the whole entire lyric, whole entire flow, and it never fails. I do it every single time I record. So I think I can be the annoying one when it comes to the sessions, because he'd be like, "You actually didn't say that." When we're trying to stack tracks, he's like, "Yeah, you got to change that." I was like, well,
What did I say?
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what happens every single time. So
Yeah.
like I said, I think I'm the annoying one when it comes to the sessions. Truly and honestly.
I love that. Listen, you gotta have that chemistry, you know, with someone to be able to tell you when that take didn't, sound like you was giving it your all, when you was mumbling, when that word isn't clear. Say that full S. Say that T. You know what I mean? Say that again. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And even my manager and producer, he, when we used to be in the studio, he'd be like, can you do that over and do it like this? And it's so funny because as artists, sometimes we can be oblivious to our idiosyncrasies, to our little quirks, to the words that we don't fully say, to the slurs that we do. And it's so funny because now that I think about my time doing media, so much of the way that I'm able to articulate my thoughts, the way that I'm able to speak clearly, the way that I'm able to convey certain feeling even through words is because of constant correction in the studio.
Yep.
Because you got to take it.
You do. You got to take it on the fly.
And
in that moment.
You got to take it immediately and do it.
Yep.
You don't have time to get emotional. You don't have time to get upset. You don't have time to state your case.
Yep.
Like, nah, I'm doing this way because I want it to sound. They don't care.
Nah.
Them producers and engineers, especially the one, like, if you got a producer or an engineer that's letting you just do any old thing, it's because they don't care.
Yeah, he checked
like,
out.
I've seen it. Like, I've been in the studio with other people, and the engineer like, all right, you ready? Next take? You ready for the next one? Like, they're not even, as opposed to, I love an engineer that's telling me what it is. And people often be like, dang, you do that in one take, or you do things in one take. Yeah. It's because I had the background. So I come in the studio ready. You know what I mean? If you are correcting me, it's going to be maybe on, some speech stuff. It ain't going to be on I know what I'm here to do. You know what I mean? And that also comes from the fact that I didn't have free studio time. Like, I didn't come up with my own studio equipment. So I didn't have a bunch of times to try it over. Like, I see people now, they go in the studio, they may record a line, stop, record another line, stop. I had to have my whole rap written out before I went to the studio. Yeah. And so that kind of informs the way that I make music. But I love what you guys have, and I love his belief in you. It's really important when you're in this season of building your career, to have someone who sees the vision. And it's great when you have that. But I want to talk about a time where you feel like you didn't have that, where you didn't necessarily have a Shay or, anyone really like backing you and believing in what you had going on. How did you make it through those seasons?
That's a good question. I think I would say that was definitely high school for me. It was just me on my HP laptop running Fruity Loops, trying to make my own beats. But I think I had to have like a little bit of delusion, like I can do this, I got this, or like I'm the guy. Like, so I was dropping tracks, I'd be like, hey, y'all gotta check this out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta, I was really just being my own, I guess, like spokesman in a sense. It felt weird, but it was like, this is the most needed thing. But also too, I think I would try to fight to, have dynamics of, guys who are better than me in certain different things. Because, like I said, I went to a fine art school, so you got guys who are talented in other different areas, and they can definitely help out. So I will say that I've felt supported in different ways, but I think as an artist, it's definitely been like becoming an artist has definitely been, I guess, harder.
Yeah.
I think making the music has always been easy. Like it's a thing that's like simple, but I think becoming an artist, becoming a brand, I do feel that struggle now. I 100% feel that struggle. It's like, okay, make the content. Okay, like what you wearing? You got the photos.
Yeah.
You going to these events. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like, the marketing is way bigger than the music at times. And so I think that's where I'm like, I need someone to do videography for me. I need someone to take photos for me. Like I need to, you know what I mean? Like it's just all those different things.
Need a team.
Yeah, that is 100%. So I think I feel that now more than ever. I think with the music is easy to make.
Yeah.
It's fluid. But with the marketing, the branding, that's where I'm struggling.
Yeah. Let's talk about marketing and branding.
Okay, let's talk about
Let's talk about your social media.
Let's talk about it.
Which I actually think you do very well.
You're
very creative.
Thank you.
Your social media output is very clean.
Thank you.
It's pretty consistent.
Thank you.
What do you think is the hardest thing for you about doing the social media part? Because nowadays it's hard to be an artist without it.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's like having creative ideas and creating the content, like having the quantity. I feel like I can make the quality, but the quantity is like where I'm like, I can just drown in. I'm just like, I'd rather just make a really good video versus making like 30 videos of me just, eating my food and just having my music in the background. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like a lot of guys can just do light work with that. But like when it comes to just being creative and just thinking outside the box, I got that down to a T, I feel like. Like I made a campaign for this song called Sunflower. And it was just like, I had the idea to, make it feel like, oh, we actually are a brand that's called Solomon Sunflowers. And I went all out on that. And then I did another time with His Way. And His Way was like inspired by beads. And I was using beads and magnets to, showcase the song. So the creative part is really easy, but the quantity part is where I like struggle at. And so,
So many people struggle at that. And do you know why?
Why?
It's because you're talented. It's because you're gifted. Like you said, you went to a performing arts school.
Yes.
As did I. We overthink stuff.
100% we
Like
do.
I remember Lady Gaga talking about this one time. Like most people don't care. All these little stuff we get so like about, they're like, what? You know what I mean? Like when you understand instruments and when you understand music, when you understand certain things, like I have a playlist that I make. There's a sound that I like in music. And I will play for people and I'm like, don't all these songs sound the same to you? And they're like, not really. But to me, all these songs sound the same because they have a specific instrument in them. And a specific sound. And it takes moments like that for me to realize, baby girl, you overthinking it. I remember I would be in the studio and I'm like, baby, rap, bar after bar after bar, double entendre, triple entendre. And it's like, half of what you're saying is going over. Now there's that 10% of listener that's going to be like, yo.
She rapping.
And we live for that moment. We live for the person who gets it. But sometimes, and this is, I wouldn't say this absolutely applies to your lyrical content, but it certainly applies to your social media content.
Yeah.
If the video of you eating is stressing you out, it's because you're overthinking it.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like, I had to check myself. Like, you don't have to change your clothes every time you have something to say. I would sit and make my content because I like to batch create because I don't have time to make a new video every day. And I would be saying my point, then I would make one video and change my clothes. Make one video. You're going to be here all night. Make 2 or 3 videos in the same clothes and then change. And make 3 more videos and then, because guess what? Your followers don't care.
They didn't even notice it.
They didn't even notice.
That's amazing.
And even if they did notice, they don't care. They don't care. People now, and now everyone knows people batch create and sit down and make all. People know.
It's normalized.
It's normal. You don't have to pretend that you somewhere different and go outside to make one and come inside to make the other. Nobody cares. And so I would say for your super talented, brilliant brain, stop overthinking it.
Okay.
Obviously this is a conversation that we've had off camera as well. Stop overthinking it. And just allow your content to get out to the people. Continue to be creative. Continue to, share your message. I think you have a unique way of sharing the things that you're going through, and I think it's going to land with just the right audience.
Yeah.
It's funny because sometimes as artists, we can think we need to, like you talked about, the clothes and the photo shoots and all that stuff. And all that stuff is important. It is important, right? But you can have all that. And if you don't actually have a gift that brings people together, it will fall flat. So focus on the gift. Don't neglect the other stuff.
Yeah.
But focus on the gift. Focus on the gift, whatever that is for you. If you're watching this and you know, your gift is that you sew, you know, focus on this. Don't get so focused on the Instagram page that you ain't made a shirt in 3 weeks. That's not what you sew. You know what I mean? Like, don't get so focused on the branding that you're not actually doing it. And I think so many people call themselves being burned out on social media. And it's because they're not just recording themselves doing what they love. If you're a makeup artist, every time you do makeup, just turn the camera on. Don't overthink it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You don't have to make it into... I would love to do more lifestyle content, and I plan on it, right? But I talk.
Yeah.
My name is Lish Speaks, for crying out loud. And that was way before I went viral. That's been my name on Instagram for as long as I've had an Instagram.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Word.
Lish Speaks. I speak.
Yeah.
So all the time it would take me to show you guys doing my makeup and brushing my teeth, I could have made 20 videos sitting down talking. So guess what I do? I sit down and I talk.
Yeah.
Now, eventually, you'll see me brushing my teeth here and there.
Yeah.
In a YouTube vlog somewhere, you know. But the main thing has to be the main thing.
Yeah.
You know, and so if what brought you to my page, in your case, was my lyricism, my creativity, then let's just focus on that.
Type.
You know?
Yeah.
That was free. The next time I'll charge you for that.
Okay.
Advice.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Before I let you go, I have one question that I ask everybody, but I want you to tell the people just anything you want them to know, whether that's new music that's dropping or to follow you somewhere or just to tap in with your community on whatever platforms you have. Please take this time to let them know.
Okay. What's up, guys? So I would like you guys to follow me on Instagram. It's, you know, ASIARE, ASIARE, 4 _4. Okay.
It'll be linked in the stuff.
I have a website. It's asipresent.com. So asipresent.com. And then also new music is on the way. We have not yet established a time, but just check us out on IG and TikTok, and you would definitely just hear the music, and then you can just be waiting for it. So those are the places that you can catch me at, and you know, leave a like, a follow, comment, share it. You know what I'm saying?
Lock in. And listen, like I said earlier, if the music is old but you've never heard it, it's new to you. So go ahead and run up all the stuff that he already has on streaming platforms. You will not be disappointed. The question I ask people as we close out our show is, in the grand scheme of things, what do you want your legacy to be?
That's a good question. I like that question. I think for me, my legacy, I would want to just help the next generation. What does that look like? I have this idea where I build some type of establishment where kids can also be creative. Because I think going to my fine art school, there wasn't a lot of kids who had the opportunity. Like, my graduating class was 116 people. It's not a lot. I mean, the place is not big. Yeah. So I would want to extend that opportunity to other kids as well. So it would just be me giving back, and then also I also have this other idea where I would like to help other people get clean water. That's one of the beverages. That's probably the only beverage I drink outside of the juice and crackers.
Your skin is glowing, so I see it. The skin is glowing.
So I would really want to help other people get clean water, because it's very essential to have, and I think we can just take it for granted. While in first world countries or just any other part of the world. So I would really want to help others out. So those are the two initiatives I would have: give back to the next generation, and then also to give to other people who just don't have as much. So
I love that. That's a great answer. And you're well on your way to creating that legacy for yourself. Thank you. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks so much for sharing your energy, your time, your space, your smile with my audience. Listen, guys, this has been another episode of I'll Just Let Myself In with your girl, Lish Speaks. I hope that you heard something in this episode that encouraged you to walk through your God-given doors. Not to wait, but to go ahead and go after the opportunities God has put on your heart. If this blessed you, please send it to someone. Share it with them. If you listen to this on Holy Culture Sirius XM channel 140, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you've watched this on Holy Culture's YouTube or my YouTube at Lish Speaks, I want to thank you so much. Make sure you subscribe to all those channels. Leave us comments, show us love. It is how other people who are like-minded get to see what we're doing. Last but not least, I also have an email address, speakers@lishspeaks.com, or you can send me an email directly. You can let me know what you think about the show, any questions you might want answered, or topics that you want us to cover. We'd also love to know what guest you would like to see on the show, or if you yourself are a person who would like to be a guest on the show, you can write it in and we'll see what we can do. Again, I really enjoyed this time with you, ASIARE. I'm grateful for you being here. And guys, we'll be back same time, same place next week. Peace.
So